This is LOA Recon with Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we explore the ins and outs of conscious creation to manifest our favorite dreams come true. Let's have some fun together. Welcome and thank you for joining me for another episode. Later this month at Good Vibe University, I'm hosting a new money manifesting experiment. That means some of us will be playing with money mantras. So I thought it would be good to talk about how to make a money mantra that works, because who wouldn't want to know how to do that, right? I want to start by first talking about how to use a mantra. Actually, there are lots of ways to do this, so I'm not suggesting that what I share here is the right way, or the only way, or even the best way. This is just what has worked for me personally. When I notice fear-based thoughts running through my mind, I call them gremlins. When I hear that happening, as a conscious creator, I know I don't want to let those fearful thoughts continue to run rampant, creating momentum towards things I don't want, because if those thoughts go unchallenged or unchecked, they can take me down a dark road that's hard to unplug from once it gets some real momentum and things start manifesting. So the sooner I can turn something around, the better. And a mantra helps me do that, whether it's health worries or relationship issues or money challenges. But the one that gets me so often, actually, there have been two situations where mantras have saved my butt. One was years and years ago when I quit a career to start a coaching practice, and my gremlins were all over me about how this isn't going to work. What have you done? You've made the mistake of a lifetime. You're going to have to get a job. They were just saying all sorts of unhelpful things that were obviously not what I wanted to create. So I used a mantra to tame those gremlins, to turn my attention towards what I did want. What I used was, anytime I heard them kick up and say something unhelpful, I'd say, no, that's not what I'm creating. What I'm creating is, I'm a brilliant coach in high demand. That was my mantra. I'm a brilliant coach in high demand. And I knew that whatever I focused on, to the point of being able to feel it, that's what was going to happen. So that was really good incentive to shush the, this isn't going to work, gremlins, and replace it with, I'm a brilliant coach in high demand. And it worked. In fact, that mantra serves me to this day, even though it has evolved to something much more extensive. You've heard me share it before, so I won't repeat it here. But that was one instance where a mantra saved my manifesting butt. The other one, this one still happens regularly, where I use it to steer myself out of heartbreak and regret and doubts and questions, and instead head towards happily ever after. It's when I send a foster animal out to live with its adopted family. That is such an easy time for my gremlins to just kick up all sorts of unhelpful stuff, like, will they take proper care of my loved one? Is this really a good home? Will they give them what they need? Are they going to get bored with them or neglect them or treat them bad? Because we see a fair amount of challenging stuff in rescue, so it's easy to imagine bad things happening. And when that's afoot, I know that I got to turn that stuff around. I mean, I do not want to be co-creating an unhappy ending for my animal. So it's good incentive to get my attention in a helpful direction, and a mantra helps me do that. So when it's time for my foster to go be someone's forever friend, this is an essential time to be lined up with a good vibration. And in fact, I remember, it wasn't that long ago, I called an LOA Savvy rescue friend. I was considering an applicant for one of my fosters, and I shared the details of their situation, and I was like, do you think that'd be a good home? Are those kids too young? Do they live too close to the highway? And he was like, He was really clear with me. This stuff doesn't even matter. Your vibration is in the wrong place. You wouldn't know a good home if you've tripped over it because you're worried. And he's right. Worried vibrations aren't going to help me manifest something good for my animals. And we know this, that it isn't the circumstances that matter. It's the vibration that makes the difference. That's one of Bashar's teachings. So his first advice to me was, get your head straight and then you'll know what the right home is. And that's what I practiced. I practiced happily ever after. I practiced imagining this animal living everything that it wanted to, with the family loving it and the animal having a good time. And when I have that vibration activated, it's so much easier to know the yeses and the nos when the applications come in. So the last time this happened, when I sent a foster animal out to go live with someone, and my gremlin thoughts were all the stuff, the worried, the fear, the doubt, the questioning, I recognized, well, I'm in this process entertaining these thoughts, not helping to create what I want. So I used a mantra. It went like this: happy, healthy, thriving, loved and adored, satisfied and fulfilled, treasured member of the family for all time and eternity. Oh, I like that. And in the beginning, it was hard. I couldn't repeat the whole thing. Like, that was too long for me. All I could do was repeat happy, healthy, thriving, because I was just so worried. Did I make the right choice for this animal? So I would just repeat happy, healthy, thriving, happy, healthy, thriving. And then when I got a good foothold in those 3 words, then I extended it to happy, healthy, thriving, loved and adored, satisfied and fulfilled. And I would just repeat that. However far I could get into it, I just repeated what I could, not giving gremlins any room to get their fearful thoughts in the way. And I probably repeated that at least dozens of times in different sessions for a couple of days until it felt like, well, of course. I mean, I just had a really solidly aligned vibration around it. In fact, remember Kamal Ravikant? He's the guy who wrote the book, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. He used a mantra to transform his life from having been suicidal to just this amazing level of thriving. And his mantra was 3 words. That's it. And he repeated it nonstop in his waking hours. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. That was it. It was super short. And he got a lot of repetition with those words, and it made all the difference for him. In fact, that's what the right mantra can do for all of us. It can make a tremendous difference in what unfolds next. And yes, I'm saying mantra, but you could also think of it as an affirmation or a power phrase or a spell or a keyword or whatever you want to call the words that click us into a new vibration and thus a new reality. Okay, so how do we create a money mantra for ourselves? There are plenty of people online with suggestions about mantras you can use, and you might find one there that works for you. But if you do that, I would suggest 2 things. 1, make sure that you feel it, because if it doesn't make you feel better, if it does not move your vibrational dial in some way, it's not going to help. And the other tip is be willing to customize it or tweak it so that it feels even better. Like, you might get a good idea from someone else, but you can make it your own by changing a word here or a phrase there, or shifting the format of it, like putting it in an I am form or taking it out of I am form. And actually saying that makes me think about how there are some that say, oh no, there are some mantras that you do not tweak. You have to actually make sure that you're pronouncing them perfectly. They're talking about those ancient mantras that have been used for eons. And they're saying because it's been chanted so many times by so many people, as you plug into that, you get tremendous power there when you use it exactly as it was meant to be used. And that might be true for you. Pay attention to how it feels. That's how you'll know. I know I've repeated, what's the abundance mantra? There's one that goes something like Om Gam Shrim Mahalakshmiye Swaha. And you repeat it like 108 times. I've done that before. And I can't say that it has done, I don't recall any amazing stories of abundance manifestations. I could be wrong. Maybe I just have a bad memory. But maybe it did. Actually, you know what? I can think of one. I learned this. I was at a Louise Hay conference so many years ago, and I think it was back when I had a job. There was a breakout session with a couple of swamis that were talking about, chanting or meditation or something. And as part of their presentation, actually, I don't think it was part of their presentation. It was just as an aside, kind of like a little PS, where one of them said, oh, and by the way, if you want to manifest material wealth into your world, here's the chant for that. And it was just one sound. It was Ong, like O-N-G. I had never heard that before. I didn't know that, but the way that was introduced to me, I used that at the end of when I did chanting after yoga. Oh, I included an Ong in there. Oh, look, I don't know what was responsible for my material wealth, but something was. Could have been that. I don't know. So there are some mantras that are designed to be pronounced, like do not alter those. Maybe you'll have joy for using those. Actually, that reminds me of how many sidetracks can I have in one episode? You might wonder, why don't you just edit those out? Oh, how do you know I'm not? I try not to edit those out, though, because you know what? Often later in the episode, I'll reference it, and then it won't make any sense if it's been edited out. Okay, anyway, I was thinking about how that time I went to the Chopra Center in California, and they gave me, they had a super cool meditation leader, and they give you your own personal customized mantra that you're not supposed to tell anyone, like they whispered in your ear. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe you've received one of those. I don't even remember what mine was. I didn't get any traction from that at all. I mean, I was a conscious creator at that point, so I knew that if I didn't believe in it, or if it didn't do something for me vibrationally, my time is better spent on something that feels better. So that one did not grab me, not the way other mantras grab me. And that's the thing about mantras. They're so personal. What works great for one person could just be completely flat or even negative for another. So we really have to pay attention to how it feels to us. I remember when my dad gave me a mantra. He didn't probably call it that, but it's what it was. He said to use the phrase, "I'm the best there is." I don't remember the context of our conversation, but as he was passing this on to me, I thought it was something he used, or I thought he actually learned it when he was in the Marines. And I thought, how cool that the instructors would teach all the Marines there that they are the best they are. Okay, they taught it as, "I'm the best there is." I thought that was such a brilliant thing to pass along to soldiers. How cool. Okay, well, that's not where my dad got it, it turns out. He corrected me once. I think he heard me quote him in a podcast episode once, and he was like, at dinner one night, "By the way, he got it from a Clint Eastwood movie, not from the Marine Corps instructors." But he said, it's still a really good thing to be repeating. Yes, I agree. It is a really good thing to be repeating. And in the beginning, that one felt really bold. It felt super audacious. Like, who do you think you are to say something like that? But you know what? Someone who has that response to it, I think it's even more important that you use it, because we're not aligned with our true self when we're thinking small stories of ourselves. Anyway, that's a mantra that I can use that doesn't evoke vibrations of competition or ranking or anything like that like it does for some people. It doesn't do that for me. All it does for me is it elicits my best. Oh, man, that's a good vibration. Okay, we're going back to money mantras. So here's how I suggest you create yours. If you're not just borrowing one from someone else, you can create yours this way. Imagine what you want. Okay, imagine whatever financial experience you prefer. Put yourself in that outcome. Like, pretend you're living that reality now. And as you're there, just notice what you say about that. As you're in that version of reality, what are your thoughts? Capture those thoughts and then play with them to find some sort of succinct or catchy or fun phrasing. That's one way to create it. Another way is to look at your desired financial outcome from where you stand right now. And as you put your attention on where you want to go, just listen for the words that come to mind as you're looking at that preferred outcome from where you stand right now. That can work too. They're very similar. But really what we're looking to do is find the words that feel natural to you when you have what you want. And this also depends on what you're looking to create. Like, do you just want more money no matter how universe can coordinate it? Or are you wanting to make it through a particular endeavor like your job or your business? Do you care if it's just one big lump sum delivery, or do you want a steady ongoing flow? Do you want it as a pleasant surprise? Or do you have something specific in mind, like the sale of a house, or maybe an insurance payout, or repayment from someone who owes you something? I mean, if there are details that matter to you, you can include them. Here are a couple of tips for creating a mantra that works really well. That's to keep it positive, present, natural, and fun. Here's what I mean by that. Positive, meaning don't say things like get out of debt or stop running out of money. You want to word it towards what you want, not what you don't want. You want to say extra money or plenty left over or plenty to share. I don't even like to say more than enough, just because enough is not the vibrational instruction I want universe to play with. You know what I mean? Okay, and then when I say present, I mean don't put it out in the future. Unless maybe you have to at first in order to wrap your arms around it. Like maybe it feels better to say, I'm looking forward to having plenty of money at my disposal, or I'm in process of mastering my money vibe for true wealth and abundance. So maybe it feels good at first to word it that way, but ideally you'll have it in the present tense. Okay, and then when I said natural, I mean just what sounds natural to you. Like, what are the words that work for you? Because there are a lot of traditional money affirmations that just they don't sound like me. They don't work for me. So something that sounds like you, that's going to work best. And then I suggested fun just because everything's easier when we're having fun. When it's enjoyable, it's better vibrations. That makes me think about how one of my favorite spells is plenty more where that came from. I use that whenever I've got to dismiss vibrations of lack or loss and replace it with flow and abundance. And for me, that's fun to say. I like it. Plenty more where that came from. And you can use it in so many ways, not just money, but also dating, jobs, time, all sorts of fun things that we might otherwise have an attitude of lack or limitation about. Totally turn it around with that fun one. So when I was creating my money mantras, I didn't just want money. I wanted my business to succeed financially. I cared where the money came from. I wanted it to be through my work. So I used mantras like six-figure success and quarter mil profits and double the fun, double the mun. A variety of them have served me really well. But what I also learned was that the amount doesn't matter to me as much as the feeling of it does. And that feeling can work no matter where I'm at financially. So my idea of what a lucrative living is has expanded over time. So that mantra can keep up with me. It can keep giving me good traction no matter where I'm at financially. Same with plenty of extra, or it keeps piling up. It doesn't have a specific number associated with it, but it's the feeling of all the abundance that's working for me. If you're looking at a specific event for financial abundance, or you just need to ease your way through a brief financial squeeze, you might use a word or phrase like plenty of payday coming my way, except that's future-based, isn't it? Maybe it would be better like plenty of payday today, or plenty of pay my favorite way. I really like to rhyme or use alliteration like comfortable cash cushion or booming bankroll, or sometimes even just a single word like ka-ching, or singing it like I'm in the money. Something like that could be fun. Or maybe you'd do better with something super traditional like I am worthy of financial abundance now, or I enjoy fabulous financial freedom. Can you see how it's important to find the words that click? That's what Florence Scovel-Shinn teaches us. Thank you, Flossie. And the thing is, once you've got one, you got to remember to use it. It does not do any good if you do not put it to work. And remember, its purpose is to harness your attention in the direction that serves you, rather than just letting those gremlins tell you stories of fear and lack through those waking moments of your day. So whenever I felt that crushing doubt or the intense fear of, is my foster baby okay? Will they be good to her? Will he be happy with them? When I heard myself starting to think unhelpful things, I would repeat, happy, healthy, thriving, satisfied and fulfilled, loved and adored, treasured member of the family, for all time and eternity. Everyone lives happily ever after. And sometimes that was too long, and I would just do the happy, healthy, thriving over and over, like Kamal Ravikant style. I love myself. Because sometimes if it got too long, that was those gremlins, just keeping it short and succinct, it crowded them out. And then after I had good traction with it, then I could expand it into the longer version of it. But again, it's always just feeling it out. What's taking us vibrationally to what we want to create? So when you've got something that matters, something that's easy to get on the wrong side of because of intense contradictory fear or feelings, try a custom-made mantra that you can engage to put your creative powers to work. And having one on standby that works for everything that might come up in life is smart practice. Like everything keeps working out, or all is well here, or it gets better every day, or it keeps getting better. Ooh, I've got so much traction from that one. It keeps getting better. I'm just talking about some phrase that can apply to any situation, because the more time you invest in your mantra, the more power there is to tap every time you engage it. And this is also true for the negative things that we keep repeating. It's not just the positive ones. We have negative mantras too. I've shared some of mine before. Oh, like, what kind of jerk? Or it figures. Oh, that was one from years ago. I got a lot of time in on that phrase, and it's not a good vibration, and it just kept manifesting. That repetition builds momentum. So we really just want to make sure that we're building momentum in the good ways, in the positive things that we want to create. I hope you got some good inspiration from this. And if you want to join us for that money manifesting experiment at GVU, you are welcome to join us there. We'll be talking about money mantras as well as other manifesting methods. Not just talking about, though. We'll be playing with them. It's going to be a fun experiment. Okay, thanks for listening, everyone, and happy manifesting.